Okay, so today we're going to learn about adding and subtracting like fractions, and this is chapter 5.5. Please take a minute and go ahead and get this copied into your notes, and pause me as you copy, and when you finish, you can press play. Okay, so to add fractions with like denominators, we want to add the numerators and then write the sum over the denominator. So we actually would just want to keep the denominator the same, and we're just going to simply add the numerators. Now this looks like A over C plus B over C equals A plus B over C. Now as you can see, we kept the denominator the same, and all we did was we added the numerator, A plus B, which looks like A plus B. Now, some of you guys like the numbers, so here's a number example. We have 1/5 plus 2/5, and because we have the same denominator, in order to add, I have to have the same denominator, like denominator. Okay, now only if they're like can I do this. So I have 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 over 5 equals 3 over 5. And I continue to keep my denominator. Now, subtracting fractions is pretty similar. Please take a moment to go ahead and get this copied. Pause me as you copy. And subtracting like fractions is similar in the sense that with like denominators, I can go ahead and just subtract the numerators. And once I subtract the numerators, we're going to write the difference over the denominator. So basically, we're just going to keep the denominator the same. As in the scene in this example, A over C minus B over C equals A minus B over C. So as you can see, I've kept the same denominator, and I have just simply subtracted the numerator. And again, for those of you that like numbers and not letters, here it is in a number example. I've got 5/7 minus 1/7, and I'm keeping the denominator. You see that these are like denominators. So I've got 7, 7. I'm going to keep the denominator, 7. Okay? And then I'm going to actually subtract the numerators. As you can see here, it's 5 minus 1 equals 4/7. It's example time. Go ahead and get this example copied in your notes, please. We'll do this one together. So as you can see that this has like denominators, okay? So when they have like denominators, we can go ahead and simply add the numerators, okay? So I have a -3 plus 5 over, and remember we just write it over the same denominator, over 7. Now back to your integer rules. We have a -3 plus 5. Now a negative plus a positive, we've got to subtract the numbers, take the sign of the higher number, which is positive. So we have a positive 2 over 7, and that is your final answer. Okay, here's another example. And again, this one is similar, except one tiny little thing. We have what's called a mixed number. Now, mixed number, again, we talked about this before in the earlier lesson, is a whole number with a fraction. So before, when we were multiplying rational numbers, we had to change them into improper. It's actually going to be the same thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these into improper. So I have here, I've got 6 times 8 plus 5, and then I've got 8 times 1 plus 1. So 6 times 8 is 48. plus 5 is, let's see, 53 over 8 plus 1 times 8 is 8 plus 1 is 9 over 8. Okay, so now here I'm going to actually look at my denominators. Do you see that the denominators are still equal? Okay, now because they are like, all I have to do is just add the numerators. So I've got 53 plus 9. Okay, and that means that's 62 over, okay. So 62 over 8 is not simplified. Okay, so I've got to actually simplify this. Well, what can go into both 62 and 8? Well, 2 can go into both 62 and 8. And 62 divided by 2 is, let's see, 31. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, now this is in simplest form, 31 over 4, and I would accept this as an improper fraction, but you can also turn this into a mixed number. Now, to turn it into a mixed number, you ask yourself, how many times can 4 go into 31? Well, almost 8, but not quite 8. So we go 7, and how many left over? 7 times 8, which is, oh, excuse me, 7 times 4, which is 28. And how many is left over before I get to 31? 7 and 3/4. Okay, both of those would work. All right, now I have this problem, an algebraic fraction, n over 8 plus 5n over 8. Now again, just because we're adding some variables in, do not stress. It's just going to be the same process. Okay, the same process meant we have the same denominators, so we just simply add the numerators. Now actually, I want you to take a minute to see if you can figure this out before I go ahead and show you the answer. Did you see that sneaky little one hanging out right there? So a 1n plus a 5n would give me 6n over 8. Okay, now I can actually I can actually simplify right here, and both of these have a 2 in common, so I can divide the top by 2, which is 3, and the bottom by 2, which is 4. So I have a 3n over. And that, my friends, is the answer. All right, and then we talked a lot about subtracting as well, being very similar to adding. So just because I have the same denominators and the same process is going to be addressed. So same denominator, what do you think I'm going to do with the numerator? Well, I'm just going to subtract the numerator. So I'm going to write it all like this, 9 minus 13 over 20. Okay, so I've got 9 minus 13. Okay, so I've got $9. I spend 13. How many do I have, or how much money do I have left? Well, I'm going to be in debt, aren't I? If I only have $9 and I spend 13. So I actually have to change this. Do it plus, minus, and 13 minus 9 is negative 4 over. Okay, and then we are going to keep on simplifying, and I can simplify this by 4, and that would be a 1, and this would be a 5. So this is negative 1/5. Okay, and then we have one more example, and this is the mixed numbers. And this is going to be the same process as we were doing with the adding mixed numbers. And remember, if you can recall, we used improper fractions. We had to make them improper. So I want to see if you guys can get this. Go ahead and try this one. and see if you can get it, and pause me, and then we'll work it together. Okay. So we've got 9 times 6, which is 54, plus 1, which is 55, over 6, minus, and we've got 6 times 5 plus 1, so we have 31 over 6. Now, as you can see, we have like denominators, so we can just go ahead and simply subtract the numerators. So I've got 55 minus 31, and you should get 24 over 6. 24 over 6. So then I can continue simplifying, and as you can see, if I simplify this, I have 6 and I have a 24, and both of those, 6 will go into 1 time, and 4 times for 24. So my answer is positive 4. Okay, now I would like you to do this extra practice and go ahead and try these and see if you can get them, and we will go over them and I will check them tomorrow. Good luck.